Hi there, welcome back to the workshop. Today is just a short video about the way I control these micro layouts or micro Cameo layouts. I quite often get asked about how that works. I talk about it being an integral system with just one power supply, but I haven't actually sort of demonstrated really more beyond that. So I've drawn out a really quick diagram. I'm going to talk you through that, but basically, we've got a self-contained Cameo box. It's got a set of LED lights in here that light the scene, and I use a GaugeMaster Model W controller, and it's all fed off one plug. And so if I unplug it, everything's off, nothing works. So my 12 volt DC supply plugs in, it feeds the LEDs, and it also feeds the 16 volt AC feed for the GaugeMaster. So the output of the GaugeMaster isn't 0 to 12 volt DC because it needs 16 volt AC for that. But by putting 12 volt DC in, you are able to get you get quite a nice controllable model out of it. But you probably sort of like, 0 to 8. I'm sure there's a calculation you could do to give you a definitive answer. But it gives you a nice smooth control, especially with some of the smaller shunters. I find with the 08s it's absolutely superb. I've got a Dapple 26 on here, that loves it as well. So yeah, it works for me. It also works on bigger layouts. So just underneath here is my latest project, which is HO scale. And again, that works on the same system. One single plug in, and then the controller sockets in. Right underneath, again, we've got Wrexham, same system. Above, both Pondulas and the Festinio layout, which sit right at the top there, are all the same. So all of these micro cameos, hi-fi cameos, whatever you want to call them, operate on this principle. I've even installed it on customer layouts and it works really nicely. This is an old GaugeMaster Model W, but I do know that it works with a new one. I've actually done it. The Boston Lodge layout, which is also on the blog, talks about that, shows how it works basically. So without further ado, I'm going to bring the camera back over to my bench where I've got the drawings, and I'm going to just talk you through what's involved. So here we are. Excuse a bit of the rough and ready. It was a bit quicker to draw it out by hand than to knock something up on the computer. Hopefully it's just as informative. What I've got here is just a sort of overview of what's going on. So we've got our 240 mains is feeding our laptop power supply. This is one of those sort of black bricks. I use one that gives me 12 volts, 5 amps. Okay, I choose a 5 amp because I'm trying to power the LED strip and a locomotive on this system, aren't I? So, 1 meter of LED strip uses 1 amp. So this gives me a bit of leeway if I want a bigger layout. So the output of this is through a 2.1 millimeter plug. So I use a 2.1 millimeter socket to feed that. I take the feed, a wire from the back of this through to the strip. I also then run a connection down to a 5-pin DIN plug and sockets. So this is the DIN socket that sits on the layout. So the 12 volt feed comes into here, runs into there on one side, and then on the other side you're coming back to the track. Now there's a wiring diagram that comes with the GaugeMaster Model W, which gives you a bit of an idea of how to do these. I can't remember off the top of my head which pins go where, but these are both available from a myriad of suppliers on eBay. I always try and find ones that are in the UK, so you get a couple of days service, free postage, that sort of thing. So you'll need your 5 amp or a 12 volt transformer, laptop transformer. You need a 2.1 mil socket that will sit on your layout for that. You need your LED lighting strip. You need a 5-pin socket and a 5-pin plug, because the GaugeMaster Model W doesn't come with a plug. You have to wire one on yourself. It just comes with a bare lead. And that's it. So let's have a look. I'll try and explain a tiny bit more about what's going on. So you've got your 12 volt comes in onto one of these, and the power supply is usually center pin positive. So the center pin on these is this one here. You can actually, if you study the terminals, you can work out which one is a center pin. So positive feed on this left pin here, and then that means this one, the next one round, is the black, the negative. So you run your black and red wires off to your LED strip, which is also usually marked up as which one's which, but you also bring those down and connect them onto the back of the DIN socket. So On this, well, I use a 180 5-pin. We've got the effectively 5, but you won't use the centre, so you'll use one side for the input to the controller, and one side will be the track feedback. Now, the input for GaugeMaster Model W should be 16 volt AC. I'm not speaking on behalf of GaugeMaster here, or whether this has any impact on a warranty, but I feed a 12 volt DC feed in, and I get a, well, perhaps 0 to 8 volts variable out, and this works really nicely for me, and this one cable system works superbly, so you know, that's a compromise I'm happy with. The controller comes, as I say, with just the bare wire. You have to wire up the socket as well, sorry, the plug as well, and so you just make sure your plug and socket match up with the wiring. So you're feeding, I think the blue and yellow wires on the controller will come directly from your 12 volt DC in, so rather than being AC, you'll be feeding the DC in, and then the other side comes to the track, and it's really that straightforward. So thanks for watching. I hope that was useful. If you've got any questions or specific queries, then do let me know. Pop them on those comments and I'll do my best to answer them. If there's anything else that you'd like to learn a little bit more about that I can do one of these shorter videos for, by all means request and I'll see what I can do. But thanks for watching. Until next time, see you all again soon.